Welcome to another edition of Be Great Podcast, where we're always speaking to great people who have done great things. And today I have a special treat for you. I have a good friend. His name is Che Willis. How you doing, my brother?
What's good, man? Thank you so much for having me on the show, fam. I'm
Man,
excited.
yeah, definitely. I've been wanting to have my man Che come through, man, because you're doing so many great things. I've seen the journey. I've seen how you've been doing some great things to make a big, major difference in people's lives. So, if you wouldn't mind, introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who is Che Willis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is Che Willis from Wealth is a Journey. Your Wealth is a Journey is a podcast. We also are starting a movement talking about wealth building, how to create wealth. And that starts from the foundation, which is building out a budget. And it doesn't sound sexy, but if you get it right, I'm telling you, it yields sexy results. So my job is to make budgeting sexy, make budgeting easy, and let people know that look like me and you that it's not as difficult as we think just because we were never taught how to do it. But in a nutshell, I'm a father, husband, business owner, real estate investor, stock market investor, and all of that came as a result of a budget. That's it. So we gonna get into it today, Stephen. Thank you so much for having me, bro.
Yo, now I'll be honest with you. You wasn't at the top of my list of people who I wanted to, because this budget is scary, man. Being
Yeah,
straight, man, because it's something
yeah,
that people don't want to run to. It's not something that we like. Yeah, today I get the budget. No, that's not what you want to talk about. So knowing that, man, but knowing that if you ever get this thing right, just how it can change and benefit your life is something that we have to be willing to embrace, man. So I want to just talk about that. How do you ease the blow? It's like when you go and get a shot, you already thinking, man, it's gonna hurt. But when you really get it,
yeah,
you're like, oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought. So how do you ease that pain when people know it's necessary,
yeah,
but it's scary too? So how do you
yeah.
ease that pain?
Listen, man, I think a lot of us grew up away. We grew up financially challenged. I'm not going to say we were poor, just in case your parents are watching. Not going to say we grew up poor, but at the same time, like we grew up financially challenged. And the reason that we grew up financially challenged is because a lot of us didn't know how to manage our money. And the way I flip budgeting is like instead of just saying, okay, I got my income, I got my expenses, I'm going to blow the rest of the money. How about we take our income, we take our expenses, and then we pay down more of those expenses so we have more money to invest or just to keep or go on vacation or whatever you want to do. But if you think about it from that standpoint, my thing is I never want to go back to being financially challenged ever because I remember how that felt. So I don't want my son or any of my if I had any other kids or whatever the case may be, I don't want them to go through what I went through. And I'm not saying I had holes in my sneakers or anything like that, but I just remember not being able to get certain things or have certain things. And I don't want them to experience that. I don't want my son to experience that. So I figured, okay, I know how, if I don't manage my money, what that looks like. So let me try to manage my money right and pay my things down so I have more money to keep. And then once I did that, it opened my eyes to the possibilities of being wealthy. So
Man, that's
that was it.
good.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of dig into your story to let people know why you are you just what I'm saying, going by Dave Ramsey's blueprint, or do you have actually a journey that you have gone through to actually qualify you to be the expert to be able to help me with mine? So
Yeah.
kind of give us a little insight about your journey. What has it done for you that make you be that I feel like I should listen to what you have to say?
Absolutely, bro. Like I feel like everything's a journey. Any wealth building, weight loss, you trying to be a better father, friend, husband, whatever the case may be, it's all a journey, and it's all about those lessons that you learn along the way. First of all, I believe that you need to have an end goal, right? And then once you have an end goal and you knock that thing down, then you can talk to people about how you did it. So my journey started as my wife and I. We had our finances separated when we first got married. I've been married 19 years now. The first 10 years of our marriage, our stuff was separated because I was afraid of the way she spent her money. I was always a saver, she was a spender, whatever the case may be. So I got good at budgeting. I got good at paying things down. I got good at being able to keep the money that I make. So I came to her and said, hey, we just moved into this house. It was a nice size house. We just moved in. I said, hey, how about we try to pay the house off before 30 years? We got a 30-year mortgage on the house. Why don't we try to pay the house off? But before that, we had to lower our other expenses, credit card debt, student loans, car payments, things of that nature. So we knocked those things off. So then it allowed us to keep the money that we made to then dump it on the house while simultaneously investing. So let's not forget that either. So 7.5 years later, we combine our finances. 7.5 years later, we were able to pay our house off, pay our student loans off. We financed the pool, bought a brand new car, all because we were able to control our finances. So once we came together, we were able to do that. And now I'm on a crusade to show other people who look like me that it's possible for them to, if you choose to. Because it's a choice. So, and to show you that it's not as difficult as you think.
Man, that's good. That's good. Yes. Whew, I still get butterflies. Even though I'm in your course already, I still got butterflies right now talking to you. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, but folks Steve, they tight about their butt. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, now I was going to say, even if you don't want to pay your house off, that's fine. Yeah. No problem. At the very least, you need to be able to control your finances. And all we're doing is just telling our money where to go. So if you have bills, what great way. So let's just say you have $1,000 in credit card bills. You have $1,000 in car payments and stuff like that. That's $2,000 in consumer debts that you have. Let's just say you paid those things down. You would have $2,000 a month to keep to yourself.
Yeah.
What could you do with that money? Could you send your kids to college? Could you go on a nice your dream vacation? Could you invest that money?
That's good.
Think about that. It's possible. Mm-hmm. But you got to have a plan.
Exact, man. So that means a whole lot to know. It's not that yours have to look like the next person, because your goals are not going to be the same. But you don't want to just be, because we all have ambitions that one day I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to have this and have that. But what's the play? What are you going to do to get there? So you got to have a strategy and a plan to kind of put this all in place. So where, yes, you're going to hit some bumps. You're going to have unexpected things that happen along the journey. But it makes sense to have a strategy and plan in place that's going to help you to get to that place, like a map. Same thing. So having that map in place is going to help you to reach your destination, even if you have to make a few detours along the way. Right.
Bro, that's a great point. Like, and that's what a budget is. It's a roadmap to get you where you say you want to go. That's it. Like, it's just a roadmap. So in order to get to any destination, you need to know where the destination is, and then the roadmap's going to come in between that to get you where you want to go.
That's key. That's key, man. So I want to kind of dig into the point of what led you to want to do this aspect of it. So it's one thing to get your finances in place, but now you see that I want to really set up a business and set up opportunities to be able to educate people. What was the driving point for you to say, this is my goal beyond myself and my family to really move into this space?
Bro, so I'm gonna try to condense this story. So 17 years ago, I'm driving along in a car on my way to a bachelor party to get into some shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm driving along in a car. I'm driving down to Philly, and I hear on the inside, Che. I'm looking around, and I'm the only person in the car. I hear Che. I'm like, what? I answer, what? I want you to help people. I'm like, well, I know I'm not crazy, and I know I'm the only one in this car. So I took that as God speaking to me, telling me that he wanted me to help people. And so I didn't know exactly how I was going to do that, but since that point, and in that moment, I cried like a baby. I'm driving down the street crying because I know what I heard, and I knew that this is now my mandate in life. So from that point on, I went about my business of trying to help people any way possible. But in order for you to help people, you have to be good at something. And what better way to help people that are struggling, but to help them in their finances? Because I got good at being able to handle my finances and being a leader in my house first. And then I was able to put it out to the world. Like, hey, I was giving this information out for free on Instagram. Like, hey, join me at this time. I'm going to do basically a free webinar. I'm going to show you exactly how to budget. I'm going to show you. No charge. That was my give back. And then I got busier and busier doing it. And then I was charging people to do it. And now I'm out speaking publicly to people. Hey, this is how I did it. And you can do the same. Just giving people hope. So hopefully that story wasn't too long, but that's exactly how it happened.
Man, I want to share what you just said to not only use your story, but how the elements of your story really can help us all to find our place. Like you said, you first got to find what you're good at, what you can offer. But then what you said was seed. See, what some of us miss is seed, time, and harvest. We want the harvest, but you got to put that seed in the ground, and then you had to put time on it, and then it produces what? A harvest. And so what you done was you planted seed. Yep. You didn't take that what you had in this first day charging people for it. You just kept on giving, finding your way to sow into others' lives, adding value, right? For a time where now that seed that you plant will then bring forth its harvest in its right time. And so what you just said, man, was so important because a lot of us want great things in our lives, but we don't understand it's a process to get there. So don't be in a rush to get to that harvest versus the time that you had to plant that seed. Bro, so man, go ahead, bro. I'm going to let you take that.
And just to give people like a bird's eye view, it was 3 years before I started charging anybody anything. And you can go back on my Instagram, and I'm sure you'll put it in the description and all that, but you can go back and look and see, this date, free budget. Like, make sure you join the call. I'm paying my money through Zoom and all that to try to show people how to set up a budget and how I did what I did, because there's nothing worse than somebody winning and not showing other people how they won. Before you even have to come to me and say, yo, how did you do that? Don't worry about it. I'm documenting the process. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it.
Man, that's key, man. That's key. And so now that you're in the season of harvest, a lot of us want to get to that season of harvest, but we don't realize once we're in our season of harvest, what that requires. That means work. I don't know if you understand.
Sure.
A lot of us want to get to that spot where, hey, I'm going to go on vacation when I can make my millions. Okay, you go right ahead. But guess what? It takes work once you get into that season of harvest. So I want to talk about that now. Now that you're in your season of harvest, a lot of things are flowing. You're speaking. You're moving into these spaces where you're in these rooms where you're impacting. You got programs going on. What does that look like? Because a lot of us think that, hey, you can take your foot off the gas, but hey, when you get in your harvest season, that's the time to put that foot down and let's go to work. So what does that look like for you?
For sure. So for me, it's just getting better, refining, retooling, just continuously getting better at my craft. So started out doing a podcast called Wealth is a Journey podcast on YouTube, all stream platforms. Started 89 weeks ago. So tomorrow I'm going to release another episode, and it's going to be episode 89. So just getting better, being able to convey a message. That's one. And then just continuously getting better at investing. So then once you tell people how to pay their stuff down, then you can make recommendations on, hey, this is how I invest, and here are the results of the investments that I've made, and you can do it too. So you're constantly rewriting a story, just constantly getting better every day, every week, every month. So then it'll be a better story for you to tell that person that they can do it too. So.
Awesome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Well, I'm so proud of you that you said, the great thing is, you know exactly, I'm at 89 weeks. And the thing of it, what I'm hearing you saying is being consistent, right?
For sure. You gotta be, bro, at anything you want to get good in. Listen, pay attention, please. Anything you want to get good in, you have to be consistent. I don't care what it is. Basketball, football, being a business person, being an entrepreneur,
Mm,
public speaker, podcaster, and not just be consistent, but be a student.
mm,
Where can I get better? Like you don't know how, like being able to take feedback too, because I had a podcast at first. I'm looking down at the camera, like the angles is crazy, the lighting is crazy, like it was a mess. But being able to take that feedback from people who knew better than I did helped me be better, be a better communicator, be a better podcaster, so people can receive the information better. So being a
man,
student, you got to be a student.
man, that's key. That's key, man. You saying some things that, man, we cannot think too highly of ourselves. Meaning that you want to have confidence,
For sure.
100%. And
For
that's I'm
sure.
speaking to us as men. That once we understand our role and understand that we have been given something that only we can do. Meaning we're the head of our house. Meaning that doesn't mean your wife is less than, but we have to be willing to step up and stand out when it's time. If someone had to make a decision, we have to be willing to make that decision. Not saying always, because your wife may be better in finances than you, so she may be the one who handles that. But that doesn't mean that your role is not being present. So when you know you have been called to be present, that means you have to be willing to do the work that's necessary to make sure that the job gets done, because the buck stops where? With us.
Facts.
Make
Facts.
sense? You
Absolutely,
know,
man. And I want, and while we're talking about getting better and being consistent, I want to give you a shout out, bro. Like from where you started to where you are now, and I see the work. I see it on your Instagram. I see it on your Facebook. You putting the work in, doing Toastmasters, doing the podcast, just finding different ways to help other people as well, bro. And I see you, man. So
yeah.
shout out to you, bro.
Appreciate, but definitely it's because I see other brothers win like yourself, and iron sharpen iron, man. You know,
For sure.
I see you winning. It's like, man, hey, when life, sometimes my day may be like a little tough, and I'll be like, yo, my man Che out there killing it, man. Let me shake this off and let me keep pushing. So it's always good to see other individuals win, and it helps us all through whatever life brings us. Because not every day is gonna be a sunny day, but don't mean you get the chance to take a day off.
That's a fact.
You gotta
That is
push
a
past,
fact,
baby.
bro.
Push past, man. And so I love it, man. I love it. And I get up on the morning meetup. I said, yo, my man Che gonna be in the room, so yo, I gotta show up too. And so I love the fact that I get an opportunity to be in the same circles with other people who are winning that space, man. So it's always inspiration to keep going. And so what that leads me into, I really want to talk about a little bit about this, how you're putting yourself in the spot of winning. So let's talk about this, because like I say, some days you may have two things going good and you got life that's happening on other corners, but how do you push past and stay consistent on doing what you know you have? Because some of us sometimes will, once life does hit us, we'll take a detour to the left, let allow life to flow us, we're
Yeah,
off track. So how do you stay on track even though I know life hit you as well? How do you do that,
for
man?
sure, bro. And anybody who's been married for a day knows that like you could be good over here, but then when you come back home, you're like, oh man, I got to deal with whatever it is that day. And so for me, I always tell people when we're going through our budget session or our investing session that you have to keep the end in mind.
Mm,
Like us, like my wife and I paying off our house took 7.5 years, right? Of being consistent, month in, month out, paying stuff down, paying things off, and being able to get to it. And there were a lot of challenging times that came as a result of what we were trying to do. The enemy tried to stop us. Different people tried to stop us, like putting things in our ear. Like, no, I know what my end goal is, and I'm locked in. And it takes a level of focus, it takes a level of discipline, and a level of consistency to say that no, I know where I want to go, and anything that doesn't line up with where I'm trying to go, miss me with that.
yeah,
And that's a level of focus and discipline that you have to get to anywhere.
yeah. So true.
So
So that's great, man. So if someone wants to kind of implement what they need to do to get started, you've already dropped that. So what it is that can actually help myself, but also others, because I know you got some things out there, and I want to spill the beans, but I want you to talk about it. What's some ways that people can get the support they need in order to help them be successful in budgeting? So what do you have in place?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have Wealth as a Journey. You can go to wealthasajourney.com. You can book a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit to work with each other, just to make sure that I'm the person that can help you and you're the person that I feel like I can help. That's one thing. Also, I have the Wealth as a Journey podcast because I feel like, kind of like going to church, I feel like Sundays are not enough. I feel like if you go to Bible study, if your Bible study is on Wednesday or Thursday, I feel like that's not enough. I feel like when I was on my journey to do the things that we've accomplished, I needed those constant reminders. So I was listening to different podcasts. I was now reading different books that's going to feed my mind because you're gonna come up against obstacles all the time, but you need to have your soul fed. So when those things do come up, you'll be like, nah, I already know where I'm going. You just need those constant reminders. So I have Wealth as a Journey podcast as well. And on that podcast, we talk about faith, family, and finances, among other things. And I believe that my story and the things that I've come up against on my journey can help you as well. And I feel like a lot of people will be able to identify with a lot of the things that I'm talking about, whether it's weight loss, whether it's finances, whether it's investing, whether it's different trials and tribulations that you come up with in marriage, just different things that you're going to need. Also, if you need additional support, we just came up with an accountability group where we meet once a month to discuss financial wins, financial areas of opportunity, and different strategies to get you to the M's or to get you to your desired result. Because I feel like, we didn't mention it, but Stephen and I met on the morning meetup, which is another community. And I believe that I am where I am now, and I still have a long way to go, but I'm here because of the community of different like-minded people coming together every morning just to meet and talk about entrepreneurship and things of that nature. Now, mine is only once a month, but it's that constant reminder, that constant accountability to get you to your desired financial result. So those are the few things that I have going on. And if you want to work with me, tap in. Wealthasajourney.com, and all the things are there. Everything's there.
Yes. I want to talk about this, but I want to make sure people understand what M's is. So if you can, I think that's means millions. I'm like, what the M's is? Okay, yes. Millions, y'all.
Yes. We're going to get to the M's. We're going to get to the millions. Yes.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure. But I want to talk about, because something I love about you was you jumped in the fire. And a lot of us sometimes we're saying like double dutch, waiting to get in, but scared to make that leap into it. And so, like you speak about yourself at one time being an introvert type individual, but you made a decision, I'm going to jump in there. So I want you to speak to that to people, because some of us want to do it. We feel like it's the right thing to do. Right now, we at the new year and about to go into the new year. And so we may want to make that plunge, but I want you to really hit them dead in the mouth. Why they got to get going, because tomorrow we can't afford to procrastinate anymore. So go ahead and really go into it about that, even using yourself as first person, from moving from an introvert to someone who now took action.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up, Stephen, because I was once an introvert. I like to call myself a recovering introvert. I used to be an introvert. Now I'm not an introvert anymore. And I feel like that was a fear of judgment. I was scared of what people said about me, about the way I conveyed my message, anything that would put me out in front of people. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'm going to just keep doing my thing in the background and I'm good. But it goes back to the mandate that I feel like I got from God, which was to help people. And I feel like in order for me to help people, I have to be forward facing. And that means that people are going to have to hear my voice. And I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, but again, goes back to the community. David Shands was like, yo, everybody needs a podcast. And I remember this session distinctly, because when he was talking about the podcast, I was ready to hang the call up. I was like, I'm done. I'm not starting no podcast. That's dumb. It's stupid. But it was a fear of mine. If I was allowing fear to cloud my judgment, because he also said, what better way to get your message out than to start a podcast and it goes out to the masses? I'm like, oh my God, bruh. This was mind blowing to me. So I figured to myself, well, I don't know exactly what to do, but I was willing to be uncomfortable and start the journey to start a podcast. And now, I started the podcast, like I said before, 89 weeks ago. And now that I've started it, I'm able to talk to people on a stage now because I got comfortable conveying my message. And I'm not saying that you have to start a podcast, but if you want to be comfortable conveying your message, you have to get uncomfortable and do something that makes you scared. And then once you do the thing, you'll realize that it wasn't that bad and you didn't die. So for me, it was talking, it was conveying that message. And now, as a result of me conquering my fears, I'm able to get my message out. I'm on this podcast because of that. Like, if I hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't be on this podcast. So hopefully that helps somebody, man, because that it's freeing to know that people are going to judge you regardless of what you do. So go out there and be great. You see what I did there, Stephen?
There you go.
Be great.
It's like the tie-in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm with you. But I want to tag me in on that one because I want to really talk about this. And I think I hear from Jeremy Anderson, who I'm a part of the Next Level Academy program. He talks about a lot of times when we're worried about how we look, how we sound, and all that, we making it about us. But when we really tap into what our real purpose and goal is, we will then move past what we feel about how people gonna feel about us. But we're gonna really tap in back in why we doing what we're doing. We got to understand we have a why on what you've been called to. It's not just me having a podcast because I just like myself to be on camera. No, it's bigger than that. When you understand your call is bigger than you, but God is choosing to use you to be a vessel to get the message out, and you want to make sure you're not get in the way. My pastor always say, I don't mind God using somebody else instead of me, but I never want him to use someone else in spite of me. That's a lot of meat right there. And so you don't want to be able to be passed on because you wasn't ready to get in the game when you was called to get in. So I encourage you that whatever you have, use it. Use it. You'll learn along the journey, but don't be scared to get in the game because that's where you learn. And be okay with the shortcomings. Because trust me, when I got started with this podcast, it was terrible. But I got in the game. I was bad before I got okay. You know what I'm saying? But get in the game and you'll find your way as long as you don't quit. And so that's why we're here. Because we want to see you be successful. We're not just here to just let us be seen, but to be seen doing what we call to do. And that's why we want to be able to share with you that it light that fire inside of you to work on your budget, but also reach your full potential and that which you've been called to. So I'm gonna get off of that and let's move on to the next. But I really want to drive that point home because you have something great inside of you, and you have to be willing to move out of the way of how you think you look and present yourself and really tap into your greatness. And so I really want to make sure we get that point across. But definitely, my guy, I appreciate everything you're doing. But I want to really hear what's next for you. What did you see yourself moving towards with this? Do you see it being something, like you said, growing a community? How does this look for you in your future?
Yeah, bro. Honestly, bro, that's another thing about like the entrepreneurial journey is like I just know that my mandate is to help people. So in any facet, I'm going to do that. So the cool part about our relationship, Stephen, is that you are the reason that I started the community.
Okay.
Because you came to me and was like, yo, what's next with you? And I'm like, well, I'm going to continue to do the budget calls and I'm going to continue to, speak on stages and things of that nature. But I understand also that people need a community feel to get to the other side. Like it's the one-on-one or the 3 one-on-ones that we have, that may not be enough. People need a community to get to their desired results. So I said, you know what? You are absolutely right. I'm going to start a community and we're going to get to our desired results together. We're going to share our wins. We're going to share areas of opportunity. We're going to get to these M's. That's a fact. That's going to happen. But we're going to do it together, and it's not going to just be me. It's going to be me. It's going to be you. It's going to be this person, that person, and whoever joins the community. If you stick around and you fight through the uncomfortableness, we are going to get to the other side. So to answer your question, Stephen, we're going to continue to help people, bro. That's what we're going to do.
Man, I love it, man. I took my own advice. That what I shared with you, I challenged myself to get in the game too. So what I've done was created a piece called Men on the Rise. Because that's really my heart and my passion is to see us as men to really take our rightful place, really step up and be the heads of our houses, be the head of our community, and not to say, what does somebody else do it, but how can I get myself involved to do it also? And so we started a Monday's call called Men on the Rise. So we're going to drop the information here. So if any men want to jump in, Joan, that call is on every Monday at 8 p.m. We invite you to come and be a part because that's what we're about, man. Creating a community to being the men we've been called to, man. So I appreciate you, man, for stepping up, leading by example of what it means to have a hold and control of your finances that you can one day have that wealth that you desire to have, man. So if you can close us out with something that you may share with yourself, that you share with others, that helps you to be great in the space you're in, what would that be?
Absolutely, man. Conquer your fears.
Mm.
I'm a direct result of, if you saw a definition of conquering your fears, you would see my face there because I was scared. I was afraid of judgment and things of that nature. But you realize, again, once you push past the fear, there are great things on the other side for you. So if you're scared to start a budget, if you're scared to do something new, something uncomfortable, just do it anyway, because again, you will realize after you do the thing, it wasn't that bad and you didn't die. So let's get to it, man. Let's get to it.
Man, you ain't gonna close us out with how you do it, baby. How you doing, Che? Go ahead, you gotta give them a taste of it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
That's what's up, man. So anyway, we want to thank everybody for tapping in. Hope you got some information that's going to take effect in your life, not just be on the sideline, but get into the game of life. And let's go out here and win on purpose. Until the next time, be great.